Hi, folks. Welcome to Curtis Goes Corner. No BS here, just straight commentary. Please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi, folks. Welcome back to Curtis Goes Corner. From Breitbart News. Paoletta, Amazon and Prime stopped streaming Clarence Thomas documentary during Black History Month. Oh boy, I did an episode on them eliminating Miss Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's rice, the gentleman on the cream of wheat, and Mrs. Butterworth. And there's a lot for a long time. People were saying the leftists are the real racists. They're trying to erase black history, or non-white history, I should say, is more accurate. And I thought that was this far-fetched tinfoil hat crap. And now I realize I think it's true. I think it's true, especially if they're conservative, or in this case with Uncle Ben's and cream of wheat and Aunt Jemima, somebody that's been long dead, and they're just trying to control history. In other words, the next generation will know nothing about any of these people. And frankly, I think this is a weird version of white supremacy. Honest to God, I do. I'm convinced of that now. I mean, I can see where you don't like Clarence Thomas because of what his ideology, or how he sees the law, how he interprets the Constitution. Okay, those are legitimate points. I think he's one of the best judges on there, if not the best judge. Maybe Scalia might have been a little bit better, but that's a really high bar. But Clarence Thomas has been an incredibly outstanding judge. And look at this. A documentary during Black History Month, I might add. Now, if he was a staunch progressive leftist / Democrat that did their Black History Month, it'd be hell to pay. What happens now? Here's what happens. Crickets. Well, they're a private company, John. They can do what they want. Yeah, you're right. They are. But it's really ridiculous. I don't know how this thing is going to end. And I have no idea who it's going to hurt, who it's going to destroy, and what's going to become of all of it. Statues, minority faces all over our culture and advertising. I think this is really bad. Not only just bad for the United States and our culture, it's going to be bad for people of color. Let's read on. Amazon showed it has its limits when it comes to its dedication to diversity and inclusion when it failed to continue streaming a critically acclaimed and popular documentary on the only black Supreme Court justice during Black History Month. Recently, Amazon Prime dropped Created Equal, Clarence Thomas in his own words, an acclaimed and popular PBS documentary on Justice Clarence Thomas. Now, PBS was what they call a bastion of conservatism, making it unavailable to stream during Black History Month. They don't want younger people to see it. They don't want younger people to see that people of color, and they want people of color to be gone. I don't know why. I really don't. I mean, look at Seattle with the library there in the college. I forgot the name of it now. I did an episode a while back where they had discussion rooms. They had signs that one said white, black, and mixed. Segregation is the new leftist ideology. You see that now in separate graduations in colleges and high schools for for non-white and white. You'll see it for dormitories now. It's the twisted version of Jim Crow. It's unbelievable. Let's read on. PBS documentary on Justice Clarence Thomas, making it unavailable to stream during Black History Month. Thomas was our nation's only black justice currently serving on the Supreme Court. And one would think that between Amazon's claim to build an inclusive culture and the fact that it's Black History Month, Amazon will want to stream this inspiring documentary on its platform. No, they hated Clarence Thomas. Remember that Anita Hill stuff? For people that are older? And guess who was one of the main people that just Clarence Thomas called it a public lynching? Joe Biden. He was brutal on him. And that's why I was hoping when the Texas Attorney General was bringing the case to the Supreme Court concerning some of the election stuff, I thought to myself, well, Joe, this is going to come back to haunt you, but it didn't happen. Vic Amazon Prime created an entire Amplify Black Voices page on his site that features a curated collection of titles to honor Black History Month across 4 weekly themes: Black Love, Black Joy, Black History Makers, and Black Girl Magic. They were sources of film available to stream, including 4 films available on Amazon Prime site to stream, 2 docudramas and 2 documentaries on Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. Fine. Different side of the ideological line, but that's fine. I have no problem with that. A liberal icon, our nation's first Black Supreme Court Justice. Yeah. And like most people, they think they're born with silver spoons in their mouths. A lot of these people, especially if they're non-white, came from nothing. And the achievements they did should be celebrated on what side of the aisle they're on. But then again, I'm a normal human, and these progressives aren't. There are even 2 films, let's see here, and 1 docudrama and documentary on Anita Hill. That was the woman that supposedly was getting hit on constantly by Clarence Thomas and made a big deal. Those are younger people. Do some Google searches. You'll find some horrendous video on the confirmation hearings for Judge Thomas, who came forward during Thomas's confirmation hearing to claim that Thomas had sexually harassed her. Hill's story never added up, and as reflected in a New York Times CBS poll after the Senate confirmation hearings, American men and women believed Thomas by a 2-to-1 margin. But they still had to do it. Why? Because someone of color was their ideology was conservative and constitutionalist. And they had to be put down. That's exactly what happened. But he made it through. Good for him. And he's been one of the best justices I've had in my lifetime, except for Antonin Scalia. Amazon has made a significant effort to celebrate Black voices on its site during Black History Month. Films of Thurgood Marshall and even Anita Hill. But can't he find any space for a documentary with only sitting Black justice? This makes no sense at all, other than Amazon made a decision not to show this film because Justice Thomas is a Black justice who has conservative views. Ding, 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 ding. We got a winner. The Created Equal DVD is still available for purchase on Amazon, but is in fact number 39 of all documentaries on that site. In contrast, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg documentary on liberal justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is not even in the top 100, but is still streaming on Amazon Prime. Oddly enough, Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia were very close personally. I found that interesting. Created Equal was nationally broadcast on PBS last April. It has a 99% audience approval rating on the popular movie rating website Rotten Tomatoes. Don't look at the critics' Rotten Tomatoes score. It's the audience score that's important. 99%. I don't think The Godfather, probably one of the best films ever made, would get 99%. Kathleen Parker, a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Washington Post, wrote, "It is a marvel of filmmaking that 2 hours passed so quickly. At the end of a screening I recently attended, there weren't many dry eyes in the room," she added. Thomas is an American hero. This is a Washington Post reporter. On the Amazon website, the film has received a spectacular 4.9 out of 5 for customer reviews with over 1,200 ratings. According to news reports, Amazon has been taking down the long-running documentaries from its site with little or no warning, and apparently it's almost impossible to receive a response as to why a documentary was taken down. Because I said so. And there may be some so-called liberal documentaries that have been taken down there in this period, but it's very strange that Amazon could not find space in its website to stream a documentary on the longest-serving Black Supreme Court justice in American history that ran on PBS in a national broadcast, no small feat, as a top-selling DVD in its documentary section, while less popular documentaries like Justice Marshall are still streaming. I won't go through the whole article here because it's pretty long. Justice Thomas's incredible story is one that every American should know. and in particular every black American. He was born in 1948 in deep poverty in the deep south of segregated Georgia. Living from birth under Jim Crow laws, his parents had almost no education, and his father left the family before he was 2. Thomas's life changed when he was 7 years old, when he and his younger brother went to live with their grandparents. And it explains how, if you want to stop the video, some of his background, Irish nuns in a segregated Catholic school and attended seminary for high school. He broke away from the values his grandfather and nuns instilled in him and rejected his Catholic faith, embracing the idea of the Black Panthers and the radical left in the 1960s. As Thomas wrote in his must-read and gripping memoirs, My Grandfather's Son, the more I read about the Black Power movement, the more I wanted to be part of it. What was the point of working within the system, segregation, lynchings, etc.? Thomas came to reject that path, embracing a view that he believed in individual rights, not group rights. And you can read the rest of it here. And it's quite a story. It's quite a story. Stop the video if you want to read the rest of this. But the fact of the matter is, here is one of the most, I think, compelling and heartfelt stories of American success. This is what America is all about. Somebody that came from nothing, less than nothing, now sits on the Supreme Court of the United States. And that's a story that should be told to every young person. Not the garbage they say that this country sucks and racist everywhere you turn and white supremacists and domestic terrorists. This is a story that should be told. And that documentary, and people now, of course, they don't read books anymore. They watch documentaries and films. But this story should be told. So we'll see if Amazon puts it back. I think it's disgusting. I think they owe Justice Thomas an explanation. And even more importantly, I think they owe American people an explanation. He's an extraordinary man that lived an extraordinary life. He is the poster person for what America is all about. It doesn't matter who your father was or how much money you have. By your character and your intellect, you can make it anywhere in America. And now this gentleman sits on the Supreme Court of the United States. And this is how he's treated. It's disgusting and it's wrong. And I'm hoping people are going to just shell Amazon with bad emails, reviews, everything. These people have to be held accountable for their actions. I'm a huge fan of Clarence Thomas, always will be. Him and Justice Antonin Scalia. And even Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Even though I didn't agree with anything, hardly anything she believed in. A lot of these people came from nothing to greatness, power, and authority. They should be celebrated. Celebrated. And it's not. It's being erased from our history. Think about that. And you say, well, who cares? Doesn't bother me any. Think about that. What about your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren who want to read about history? This will be gone. This is 1984, where news articles are changed. And history is rewritten to make America look like a terrible, racist place. And it's not. And this gentleman is a shining example of why that is not true. And until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.